Runnin' with the Devil, a rock and roll adventure. Part 27. Holy shit, Derek said, rock and roll. Let's go. Wait a second, dear boy, Bob instructed. Rebecca, Edgar, when you are finished, meet us in the limo, he yelled loudly. He then motioned for Derek to go. Derek took the band-aid off his forehead, then stepped off the plane. He began walking slowly down the steps, waving, smiling, throwing up the horns, and sticking out his tongue as he did. The screaming from the crowd grew louder. Anyway, Corey followed Derek, then Steven, then Ricky, who took off his head wrap before he walked off the plane. Tony went next, all of them doing the same as Derek, except the tongue thing, as they too walked down the steps. I reached down, took a hold of Donna's hand, raised it to my lips, kissed it, and asked, "Are you ready, babe?" She smiled, and said, "Yes." "Oh, give it a rest already. You two are downright sickening," Bob commented. "Shut up, Bob," I shot back. "Remember what I said, Mr. Hard Sell," Bob said sternly. "You have been calling him that for a while now. What does that mean?" Donna asked confused. "I'll tell you later, babe. Let's go," I replied. She nodded. We then exited the plane together, walked down the steps holding hands, and waving to the crowd. Bob was last to exit. One by one, we made our way down the steps, across the carpet, and into the waiting limousine. I, of course, let Donna go first, then crossed over her, to give her the window seat. It was the same exact layout as the other limo, so I assumed it was the same one. It was equipped with all the same incentives as before, except the hard stuff. Derek, Corey, Steven, and Ricky began indulging in their favorite incentives. Donna and I looked out of the limo door, just as Bob just reaching the bottom of the steps, when loud ohs and ahs came from the opening of the plane. Bob turned around, as we looked up, to see Edgar and Rebecca both trying to squeeze through the door of the plane at the same time. "Move. You move. I'm going first." "No, me. Jezebel. Daddy's bitch," they argued. The crowd began laughing, instead of cheering. Rebecca then took her arm, and hit Edgar hard in his chest, knocking him back into the plane, as she stepped out, and began walking down the steps, each foot hitting each step harder than normal, making her endowment bounce. She was smiling and waving with her right hand, like a supermodel, still wearing the nurse's hat, and twirling the stethoscope with her left hand. I didn't see her tail, so I assumed she had it tucked up underneath her shirt. Edgar soon emerged from the plane stumbling. He quickly composed himself, and began walking down the steps, open-handed waving with his right hand as he did. He was carrying his pilot's jacket and hat in his left hand. Anyway, Bob then got in the limo, then Rebecca, then Edgar. Someone then shut the door. "What in the holy name of me was that?" Bob yelled. "He started it, she started it," they began arguing. Donna scooted closer to me. "And I am going to end it," Bob yelled once again. "If you two cannot act professional, instead of acting like spoiled little brats, then I will banish you both to the lake of fire, and not think twice about it. Rebecca, I love you, as much as the devil can, and Edgar, you are my most loyal demon, next to the seeker that is. But I will not tolerate anyone, or anything, interfering with the success of my plan. Do I make myself clear?" "Yes, Daddy, yes sir," they both answered, like scolded children. "We'll see about that," Bob said. He then smiled, like clicking off a switch, and said dramatically, "Now, on to the hotel." He then knocked on the mirrored glass that was separating the front of the limo from the back once again. The limo then slowly pulled away. "Who's driving the limo?" Ricky asked again. The mirror then rolled down. "I didn't know it could do that. Last time, if you remember, they used the phone. Anyway, the driver then turned around to look at us. It was the old man. "It's me. Just like last time," he said laughing, then rolled the mirror back up. Rebecca then turned to Donna, who was sitting next to her, and said, "Girl, we matching. That's what besties do." In all the craziness, I didn't realize that Donna and Rebecca were wearing the very same outfit, and so was Edgar. "Cool," Donna said hesitantly. "I got my jeans," Rebecca said smiling. Corey then chimed in. "Hey, demon chick," he said, and pointed at Rebecca. "I am not a demon. I am a succubus," she said defiantly. Yeah, whatever," he replied. "Ever since we met you, you have been trying to seduce us. Hell, you even tried to kiss me, and now you're acting like some demented valley girl. I love that movie." Anyway, Corey then continued, "What's up with that? You are all second-hand news. I tried, was denied, and now I'm moving on. I have my sights set on someone else. Besides, I always wanted a best friend, someone that was not intimidated by my sexuality, fearing that I would take what was theirs. My bestie here knows that I have absolutely no chance with her man. He looks at her, like most men look at me. I am not the compilation of all his desires, and never will be. She is. The fact that he wanted her to stay, lets me, and her, know that it is she who holds his desire, not me. So I don't have to be what is expected of me. I am free to be the real me, Rebecca replied. Can I use that? I asked Rebecca excitedly. Use what? She asked me back. The last two sentences that you just said. Can I use them? I'll give you a writer's credit, I responded. I don't remember what I said, she admitted. I don't have to be what is expected of me. I am free to be the real me. That would make a great verse for a song, I said. Can I use it? I asked again. Songwriter's man, Steven said wasted, shaking his head. Wild bunch. Just say yes, dear, Bob said nonchalantly. Oh, okay. Yes, Rebecca answered. But what's a writer's credit? She asked. I will tell you later, dear, Bob told her, nonchalantly as well. I actually used that verse in a song later on, giving her a writer's credit like I said I would. Anyway, can I have a beer, sir? Edgar asked Bob. These incentives are not for you, Edgar. They are for the band, and Tony, Bob answered. Edgar just hung his head, saddened. Hey, Bob. Edgar played keyboards on the album, so technically he is part of the band. I don't care if he has one. Do you guys? Derek asked. Nope, go ahead. I don't care. Go for it. That's cool, the five of us answered. Tony makes 5. Edgar then got up and got a beer, for which he shared with Rebecca, then got back up to get them both a beer, when the first one was gone. Those two really hit it off. Laughing, joking, leaning into one another. It was weird. I know, right? I made Donna and I a cup of coffee, and got Tony a bottle of water. I don't know how much time passed, but it wasn't too long after that the limo stopped, and the mirror rolled back down again. Sir, we're here, the old man said, rolling the mirror back up. Bob then clapped his hands again and said, boys, and ladies, once we enter the hotel, let me do the talking, you just smile and nod. Understand? Yes was the collective response. The back door then opened, and it was the same as it was at the airport. Crowds of screaming fans, a red carpet, and flashbulbs flashing. Bob exited first, because he's Bob. Tony exited next, because he's our bodyguard, and had to be able to stop any overzealous fans from harming us. We didn't think about that when we exited the plane. Anyway, Donna and I went next. Steven and Ricky went after us, completely shit-faced. Derek and Corey went after them, stoned out of their minds. And last was Edgar and Rebecca, glowing like lovesick teenagers. It was very odd, to say the least. The sign on the side of the hotel was written in Japanese, so I couldn't tell you the name of the place if I wanted to. Anyway, we walked, in that order, to the front door. Bob opened the door and we walked inside. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't a 5-star by any means, or even a 3-star for that matter, but I've seen worse. The flop house in town instantly came to mind. Anyway, we walked up to the desk, and was greeted by an old Japanese woman, trying to communicate with us. In what? That's right, Japanese. We had no idea what she was saying. Bob then ran over to her, and started speaking, in what I can only assume was the language she was speaking. After a short conversation, she reached behind her, and pulled 7 room keys off the wall, and handed them to Bob. Here you go boys. One for the 4 of you, Bob said, handing Derek, Corey, Steven, and Ricky, each a key. One for the 2 of you, handing one to me and Donna. One for you big man, handing one to Tony. And one for you Edgar, you have to run the board, for tomorrow night's concert, handing the last one to Edgar. Rebecca, you come with me. Do I have to, Daddy? She asked. Yeah, does she have to, sir? Asked Edgar. We all just stood there with a what the fuck expression on our faces. You are not a child, Rebecca. You can make your own decisions. I have to remember that. Do you want to stay? Bob asked. Yes, Daddy. Yes, please, she answered excitedly. Very well, my dear, Bob responded, as Rebecca bounced up and down, clapping her hands. Yay, she said. Edgar smiled hard. That what the fuck look we had on our faces, turned into a what the fucking fuck look. Now, I trust you all can handle yourselves from here. Your rooms are just down that hallway. Enjoy boys, and girls, Bob said, standing there. Dude, let's hit the bar, and spend some of this signing bonus, Derek said. Corey, Steven, and Ricky all agreed. Bob then spoke. Boys, I do not care what you do, how you do it, or who you do it with, but know this. You will be up, awake, ready to go, and waiting in this lobby, at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, human time that is. If you are not, I guarantee you, there will be hell to pay. Okay, they all said, shaking their heads vigorously, then wandered off to find the bar. Now, I must confirm the events for tomorrow night, so I bid you all adieu. If you need anything, just call my name, and I will return. Blue, Bob said, snapped his fingers, and disappeared into, you know what he disappeared into, right? Edgar and Rebecca took off like a bat out of hell toward their room, which was right next to ours. Edgar dropped the key in his nervous excitement, found it, opened the door, and they quickly went inside, shutting the door, but not closing it all the way. About a minute later, we saw the tip of Rebecca's tail poke out of the opening, place a do not disturb sign on the doorknob, then slowly close the door. I hope she doesn't kill him, I said. He's a demon. I'm not sure if she can, Donna replied. Good point, I said. They do make a cute couple though, Tony commented. Agreed, I said, putting my arm around Donna's shoulder, and walking to our room, as Tony walked to his. I opened the door, and looked inside. It was at that very moment, that I realized, the bedroom in the house, was not a bedroom at all. No, it was a hotel room, the same hotel room, that I was looking at.